That is the key. You're not going to change your whole life in less than a decade if you don't address what is 90 to 95% of our cognitive functions, and that is subconscious. I realized everything's subject to improve. That's why feedback is really important, especially right now, because this is going to be our community. And I'm already excited. I just barely had time to poke around in the room, and I saw a lot of people already like linking together and helping each other write books and stuff. And it's just really cool. It's just day one. And you're on the forefront of this. But what I realized too is that I really kind of needed to restructure some things, which is really cool because it's really every step I'm doing is giving me more clarity for everything else, which is really cool. A lot of us are here because we have a lot of these tools already. But part of what the soul activation is me helping even those people realign like everything to where it's now flowing. It's one thing to know this and know that and know this and know that. It's kind of like having the PVC pipe and the valves and the caulk and or the paste or whatever. But you've got to actually put the stuff all together for it to really like bring water to your house. Just kind of letting you know that things are pivoting, sometimes 90 degrees or 360s. I'm one of those people that I really need you to speak up, especially when I got a lot of irons in the fire. If you speak up, I go, oh, okay, wait, hold on, time out. Because I don't want to leave anybody behind. Everybody that you see in this group is a big piece of the puzzle, including yourself. And so just bear with me. But yeah, expect meditations every class. Also expect to be doing meditations every day, because that is the key to this course. That is the key. You're not going to change your whole life in less than a decade if you don't address what is 90 to 95% of our cognitive functions, and that is subconscious. And we access that part of our brain when we're waking up and going to bed. All right, so it's really, really important for us to do those. A lot of us are meditating already every day, or at least a lot. And a lot of us even understand how important meditation is. But if we're going to make a big splash as a collective, then we need to start with our own thing and make that important. And that's what today is really about, is part of learning who you really are only comes from accepting who you really are. It's how and the more we are in these rooms together, the more we learn about each other. But we've been so distanced from ourselves since we were toddlers that we don't even know the difference. Before we even remembered a thing or knew what a birthday was or what a sibling was, especially if we were the firstborn, like, what do you mean there's another person and they're going to have some of your attention? What the fuck are you talking about right now? Anyways, that's a whole nother story. But, so every day, like I said, you've spent however many years old you are getting to where you're at right now. It's not going to change in less than a decade unless we really intention it. And part of knowing that is knowing where it's at, right? Mine is in my childlike nature. That's why I had to take a sip of my soda right now, right? I've been telling myself for 10 minutes not to, but whatever, right? It's me. If you and I went out to eat and I told you that the bathroom is over there to the right or to your left, I think I'm pointing to your left, right? Okay, so if I told you that the bathroom was over here to the left, and you went over there for the bathroom, never find it if it was over here you know what I'm saying? So like, what the best way to distance somebody from themselves is to point this direction, like, hey, they're over here. They're not over here, right? What most of us are used to identifying ourselves as is our accomplishments, our mistakes, whatever someone may feel, the thoughts that they tell us, the thoughts we think they have of us, based upon the way that we're either validated one way or the other in different areas, and we start believing these things. The crazy thing is is it's just one thought on top of another on top of another. So if you have a wrong thought, let's say that you think water is solid and you go to step out on it and you find out that it's not. People do that all the time when they think that it's frozen, and then they step into a little area that's not strong enough to hold them. And it's not really solid, at least not enough. And that's a big thing too, is that we step out a lot on people who aren't capable of supporting us in a way that we want them to. I did this for much of my life, in many areas of my life. I remember calling up a friend of mine one time about my life, about how my life just sucked. And I probably spent 30 minutes telling her all the reasons that I was validated and the reason or for this thought that, and then I remember specifically, I said, as I was describing how sucky my life was, is that nobody answers their phone. Nobody listens to me. Nobody understands my feelings. And the reason I remember those three things out of the thousands of things that I told her is because those were the three things that that woman was actually exhibiting in the moment. And I remember the feeling that I had knowing I hurt at least the one person. At that moment, I hadn't even expanded my thoughts to maybe someone else had been exhibiting these, but I know for a fact that I just hurt that friend's feelings who just spent 30 minutes of her life she can't get back doing exactly what I said, my words, nobody. How invalidating was that to her for the effort that she was doing to give it to me? And I feel like that's the way that we feel about ourselves. We have completely invalidated ourselves, saying, no, we're not loved because I accidentally hurt her feelings. And that's not the case. The fact that I recognize that I did it shows that I am loved. You see what I'm saying? But we keep thinking the bathroom's over there and but the bathroom's really over here. We're looking at the wrong things because we're in the wrong places. We're not our past. We're not what people told us what we are. We get to choose who we are, right? Who you think, including myself, thinks that walked into this room here today is actually the person that you think you should be. And I'm going to just give you a second to really think about that. How many of your thoughts, feelings validates that very thing? You walked in here as the person you think you should be. And it's based on accolades or your mistakes. Some have a really good idea of who we are in this particular area, but not that one. I thought it was pretty cool that the universe brought me to where I'm at right now. Like literally, I was in this campsite when I realized that, or when the universe did this, but the universe had created a situation where for like 3 or 4 weeks, I went from one situation to another situation to another situation because I swear I didn't think I was good at a thing. If you would have asked me like 6, 7 months ago, what am I good at? Like I'm good at bullshit stuff. I'm good at formatting a piece of paper and notes and stuff, but what's that really going to do for the collective, right? Like, and I love it. I'm meticulous in it. I can't even read it unless I format the thing. So I came here and it was like one situation after another, after another, after another. I'm good at this and I'm good at that and I'm good at this. And I can't tell you how much validation had come in at that moment as I'm releasing this limited mindset that I've put myself in. I've started realizing what's happening is that because a limiting mindset was keeping me from actually seeing the positives, even in myself. I'm talking about like the places the things that make you feel like you can actually make an impact. That you know, not only that you can, sometimes we know we have the skill, and when we're hearing or we see something, we know what the answer is. But for whatever reason, we want to come up with an excuse as to why I can't be the one to help them. You know, it's like we're afraid to think of ourselves highly enough to just accept that we might be able to help somebody heal. I mean, just a little bit. And, but the reason is because if we did help them and we saw that we could help them, then we would have to let go of the ego. So we're actually acting against our ego to go help them. Right? So this ego is what we think we are. It's not actually who we are. The the easiest way to think of what your ego is in the role that it is playing in your life, it's the sum total of your past, right? But that really only matters if you are a physical being having a spiritual experience. That's why they call it the lizard mind or whatever, you know, like we're always, what? Because if we're this body, then we're fearful of dying. Does that make sense? And so we have to get in that flight or fight. You know, am I safe? Am I safe if we're this body? But that's the ego. You got to connect the things that are connected. It's not you, it's the ego. It's connected to this body. This is a vehicle. When you get into a car and you drive off, anybody ever been in an accident and totaled a car? You're fine, right? Here you are. It was the car that got damaged. You are a spirit. You are love. You are divine. You are co-creator of your life. It doesn't matter what 1 second of your life validated of that truth. It doesn't change the truth. A lot of people I see, most people meditate for the body to ascend. We are to meditate so that we can connect to this body and then through that observe what is around us. And if we're not doing that, we are out of alignment, period. Right? I'm not here to tell you, I didn't write your Fab Five. Not a damn thing on that Fab Five was a thing for Mystic Marc. It was all about you. This whole course is about taking you and aligning you with you. With this mindset, we need to understand that as a spirit having a physical experience, that the future isn't coming for us, right? We are coming for our future. And our future is going to hold nothing of any real substance if we don't give it something. You can, and I'm going to give you another second, because the moment, your life today, just think about your life today. It's the sum total of everything that you want. I mean, you probably are like, well, my parents should have given me this. I'm saying that you think, like I've thought for a long time that I was not worthy of my mother's love. And guess what? That's exactly what I got. Because that's what I thought. I am co-creator of my life. I had to take responsibility one day when I looked around that I got exactly what I wanted. Think about it. You've either talked yourself out of the better thing that you want, or you've not seen it. Like, just like with my friend, I didn't see my friend showing me love. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even see the blessing that was around me at that moment. I love the Bible. I'm not a religious person. You'll find I'm not a religious person, but I'll tell you a lot more of my story later. But the first time I met Jesus was 4 years old. And that moment on, I mean, I knew a bunch of like scriptures like this before I even knew that there was a Christianity or a Bible. I didn't even know Jesus, you know, the term Jesus. I just knew who showed up for me one day. But anyways, but more about that later. But I'll refer to scripture a lot, okay? Faith is the substance of things not seen, right? Faith is the substance. One of the things that really throw us off when we're interpreting scripture. Scripture's not to be interpreted. What we need to do is realize what the words mean. And I'm tired of words meaning one thing over here in this part of the Bible than it does in that part of the Bible, or the fact that why do we have a whole book just for the biblical meanings of these words? Like they didn't mean the same thing that the Webster's dictionary. If it didn't mean the same thing, why is my Bible saying these words? But we'll throw all that out for a second, okay? We'll look at the black and white words. Faith is a substance. A substance is something I can hold. Thank God that this bottle is a substance because it holds my soda pop right now. Right? So faith is the substance of things not seen. So if I can't see it, then I need to be able to hold it. And if that's possible, you realize that's only possible if you're an actual spirit. That whole verse would be shit if that didn't work. But here's the thing. It really is. So like if you feel if you can in your mind grasp, we're consciousness. Who here knows that we're consciousness? We're consciousness. Right? So that's and so like we be conscious of the fact that we are love, that we are a spirit, and be conscious of that, and then allow ourselves to feel it, because our feelings are real. I mean, how many have ever been mad, so mad they couldn't even think straight, and they just we've all been there for a minute. It's real. Although we've got to realize that in a sense these are all figments of our imagination, because it didn't affect me. If it was real, it would have affected me too, And anyways, and it is. Everything is neutral until we put a thought and feeling to it. Proof is this. If y'all have really taken a good look at me, you've seen that I got a mustache. I am a woman who has embraced the fact that I have a mustache, and I am okay with that. All right. Sometimes I may cut it off. Sometimes I may not. And I'll get some scissors and just play around with it or whatever. It's just because I felt like it. Right. But you'll see a lot of my videos. I got this big ass mustache. I wasn't thinking about my mustache. I was just trying to get some videos recorded and post them on here. That takes a lot out of a person to start putting their life online. And here I am. And that's what I'm doing. And I got somebody on one platform and somebody on another platform. I happened to see it on the same day, though. A man and a woman had both made comments about my mustache. I've embraced that I have a mustache. I've had young boys just barely getting peach fuzz right here. Like I've had two of them in my life come up to me and try to make fun of me and make me feel less about as a person because I had a mustache. And I just look at both of them. I'm like, you're just jealous that I grow a better mustache than you. And usually when somebody's hating on you, it's something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so like these two people, and I'm not even saying they were really rude, but the fact that you're even posting on my account right now about my mustache is stupid, right? But that's okay, you do you, right? But the man said, he goes, you grow a better mustache than me, which I'm probably another teenage boy. I've never had a man say that to me, right? And then there was another one was a lady, and she's like, probably I took it kind of like my grandmother, like, girl, take care of that mustache. And so with a woman, I just said, well, if God put it there, then who am I to say to take it down? And with the man, what I asked him, I said, how does that make you feel? But there's some people who would have been in that situation and it would have devastated them. And they would have probably been like, how do you handle these comments? But like, it didn't affect me though. You know what I'm saying? Like I made light of it. I thought it was hilarious. What, at the end of the day, they posted on it, which gives me engagement. And I was able to reply to it, which gave it engagement, which actually promoted the video. So thank you. But I could have had so many ways I could have handled that situation. But my point is saying this, everything is neutral until you put a thought and a feeling towards it. And if it becomes more about their hurt than defining who you are, then it does the same effect with us. Then when people start saying stuff, it doesn't trigger us. It's because we are learning who we really, truly are. And so that's how this faith, essentially this course is giving you the faith. The substance comes from doing the work and embodying this thing, because now we know that it's this, in our brains, that we can intention anything in our lives. We are co-creators of our lives. Another great scripture is, how are you who are evil? And I don't like necessarily the translation that it uses. I'm not here to interpret the Bible, but let's just say it is not the way you think you should be. If you are the way if you aren't the way that you think you should be, but you can still be a great parent to your child, who am I? Essentially, he's talking about himself. You can use God, universe, source, whatever term you want to use, where the source of all that is, whatever term you put on it, we're talking about the source of all that is, wants a personal relationship with you, not the body, not your past, the you, the spirit you, the divine you, who we think is the more progressed us. But it's not us. It's us now. It's like that elephant. Y'all have heard that, where the elephant's like tied to a post when it's a baby, and it's not strong enough to break it, but it grew up its whole life thinking that. That's exactly what's happened with us. We have been chained to this body and told that this is what it was before we had the ability to decide otherwise for ourselves. But here's the thing. We were enlightened beings. How did that happen? I'll tell you how that happened, because they say you hang out with 6 dumbasses, you become the 7th one, right? But the cool thing is it happens the other way around too. You put yourself around 6 millionaires, you're going to become the 7th. But when we came into this world, before we knew any better, we looked around in a world of people who lived based upon the ego. So why wouldn't we have followed suit? It served them. They're still alive. And they're the reasons I'm alive. Where would I eat? Where would I sleep? I don't know. And then they kind of tell us that too. They tell us that we really anyways, that's a whole nother course. I'm getting off topic again. So this isn't a woo-woo manifestation thing. It's definitely not like a pray and hope it happens type of thing. The source of all that is looking at you, wondering, what are you going to pick today? The universe, God, knows what you want by what you are picking and choosing to do. There are people that were invited to be in this room, that should be in this room by my standards. Not that I'm always right, but I really feel like that they would benefit from being in this room today. But they're not in this room. They told the universe that they'd rather go play poker or get laid or whatever else it is that they're doing right now, watching TV, scrolling, chasing after some random person in hopes for love. No, we're here. We said, okay, I want to do the work. I want the next 12 months of my life to be the best 12 months of my life. And I understand it's a process and I'm going to have to do it. And like I said, it's an everyday thing. But that's the thing. I got to realize too, Jesus didn't say that you're going to tell this mountain to jump over there and it'll move, right? He didn't say that you were going to pray. He didn't say pray that the mountain will move and hope that it's God's will. And if it is, the mountain will move. No, he said, you person, instruct that mountain a thing to do this, an action. And the way it was stated, I feel like he meant now. I'm just saying. And he says that if you do that, it'll happen. And I'm not here to say that I want to tell that mountain to move, because I feel like some people might die and it would change the whole structure over here. And I don't really want to do it. But I've done that in my life. And the way that I did that in my life, I moved mountains in my life. And then this is what's cool, is once I told the universe that I chose to move mountains, every mountain that I moved, the universe moved 2, sometimes 3 or 4. It was dope. And then I decided to do this thing. And as soon as I started to do this thing, 6 impossible things happened. And then miraculously, I ended up actually finally with I don't know how I couldn't record anything. And then I also don't know how I ended up with a recording of it either. But it was so cool, because the following 3 or 4 days, just because I made the choice, I came over here, I did it, I've never handled a situation like that better than I have. I swear to God. But at the same time, it was one of the most devastating moments of my entire like career. And no matter what I was doing, it was my working career. And I was just like, wow. And because I was so proud of that. And I was like, it was like the course unfolded before me in that meditation. And it was like the coolest thing. But the following 3 or 4 days, what ended up happening was the universe brought a whole bunch of other things into play, and it became something what you're experiencing today, right? And what's going forward. It was the birth of what's going forward. But that's because I said I'm going to do this. I showed up. I did what I had to do. It doesn't matter because we are always right where we need to be here, when we need to be now, exactly the way we need to be, whether it's fucked up or whether it's good. It doesn't matter. You showed up exactly the way you need to right here. And that's a big thing, right? Anytime you are feeling something that is counter to this divine being, I want you to just tell yourself that I showed up exactly the way I needed to be, because I have seen my mistakes over and over and over and over again save my ass. But it's because I was looking. I invite y'all to look. When y'all screw up, watch the universe use it. But look for it. You got to look for it. If you look for the pain and looking into your ego, like, see, this is why I'm a piece of shit. Remember, you're trying to be a better person, but you're not. You're a piece of shit. And I'm tired of telling myself that. You know what I'm saying? I've had to yell back at myself. You're not going to talk to me like that anymore. You're just not. You know why? Because I want to make an impact. And I'm not going to do that beating myself up, because after I beat myself up, I got to lick my wounds. And if I'm licking my wounds, I'm not helping anybody. And I'm starting over from scratch, essentially. We start building things and then we tear it down. We build things and somebody sees that we're starting to do good, and they may even validate, hey, you're doing good. And they're like, oh, shit. That's right. I'm a piece of shit. I got to do, no. And it's like this little fight thingy, right? And and I'm saying all of this to let you know it'll come up. It's come up for me 3 or 4 times today already. I'm still having to breathe through these things. It is safe for me. Sorry, my brain got hijacked. It is safe for me to be imperfect and just breathe, and it's okay. And sometimes I even force myself to play it out. Worst case scenario. And I go all the way to the end, the worst case scenario. And then I ask that person, but are you still alive? Then you're okay. And if you're in a situation, there's an answer. And if there's not an answer, you don't have a situation. You just don't. Usually, if you're in a situation like that, it's something you just need to remove out of your life. Most cases, either that or it's just not that big of a deal. And that's what I found in those instances where you're like, oh, that may not be true. But there is always another level too. Like, seriously, um, I, this particular part of the course, really, I want to be. I don't know if you are aware of like 12-step programs, but what they have you work the steps 1 through 12, and then you work through the steps again and again, and it's like a layer, like an onion, and so like that's what it is. There's always another level. There's always somewhere deeper to go and another rock to turn over, and it's just another level. I had a pastor say one time that if we're still here on the ground, then we're not ascended enough. We're really not, because otherwise we would ascend just like Enoch. So if while we're down here on the ground, we're still progressing. And as soon as and that's what the ascension, y'all hear about the ascension all the time. The Bible talks about it as a resurrection. And what it is it's us returning back to self spirit, realizing we are spirit. And I really feel, and this is another class, but I really feel like what we're going to realize is that we don't belong here anymore, and we're just going to ascend, just like Enoch did. Right? Again, I'm not a religious person, but I really believe that those are testimonies of people who have connected to the real, true God. And that's why the Bible's been so manipulated and then put a religion on top of it. But I'm not talking about any of that. I just go in and I look at the principles that I see in that Bible. And I see how it played out in this person's testimony and that person's testimony. If you start looking at it as testimonies, it opens up a whole nother thing. And don't take what people are saying like hell and fire and brimstone in with you when you're reading it. And if you want to, I'm going to do a series. If you just want me to thumb through it all for you, which I think is going to be a really fun project, right? Because I've told so many people, for the first time in my life, like I said, I met Jesus when I was 4 for the first time. For the first time in my life, I don't believe in the God of Christianity, because I believe in a God that loves me unconditionally, and that the Christian God doesn't embody that fully, at least not the teachings of it. I find people all the time who believe God and really connect with him and really embody that unconditional love. That's not who I'm talking about. I don't care what you believe. It's all about the love. You know them in their fruits. The same thing in the esoteric realm. We look around. Where is it that we're finding love? And that's what it is, right? It's because that's what we are. Oh, source of love. I'm on a thing. I do believe in group energy, so I do believe that us coming here together, and even those watching the replay and stuff, those will be cool. So this meditation is kind of the other meditation, but a little deeper. We're going to start with the heart coherence meditation. So we're just going to get comfortable. However way it is that is most comfortable for you to meditate, be it sitting up or laying down. The whole purpose is you want your body to be relaxed and comfortable, so that we're not having to worry about falling off the chair or holding our heads up. Okay. And so, because what we really want to do is tap into that subconscious part of our brain. And a big part of connecting with ourselves is checking in with ourselves. And our true selves, the gate to ourselves is through our heart, in much the way that the eye is the window to the soul. When you look into somebody's eyes, you can see their soul. When you look into your heart, you see yours. And so that's the whole purpose of this heart coherence meditation. And what we're doing, and what I invite you to do now, is to be aware of your heart space. Can you feel the warmth that is residing there in your heart space? Give it more room. Actually allow it to expand. The more of your consciousness that you put in this space, and then giving it room, letting it expand. We're going to feed it more of our attention, more. We're going to intention. A builder doesn't accidentally build a house. He has to be intentional, or she has to be intentional to get the right crews, to do the right jobs at the right time. We have to be intentional in our heart space. And we're going to breathe in. When we take our breaths, just a deep breath. We're not going to force it in. I don't want you to be expanding necessarily your cat as much as you can. Everything is comfortable and natural. You know why? Because when we're meeting ourselves, this is our natural state, and we're trying to be comfortable in it. So we're not forcing ourselves. There's no measuring stick that your breath has to be this long. This is a safe space for you to screw up and not be perfect. Okay? That's what this course is. It is safe for us to figure out how to walk, just like a child. You don't sit there and, "Oh, you're wobbly, stop doing that." No, you give it space. And if need be and when needed, you give it a hand. At least enough for it to figure out how to stop being so wobbly. And that's what we're going to do with ourselves here. We're just going to take a deep breath in directly into your heart, as if your heart is taking the breath. And then we're just going to pause it at the top, just long enough to be aware and to let it soak up anything that is trying to distract you from this. And then let it go, because it doesn't belong here. I decide who I am. Deep breath. Pause until you kind of sort of see it at least. Release the doubt. This isn't going to happen overnight. You're not going to feel all the feels right here all at once. Some parts of this you're going to feel the feels, and some parts you're not going to feel the feels. But guess what? You're feeling different feels than someone else is feeling right now. And that's okay. Deep breath. This is the basic heart coherence meditation. The awareness, the breath, the knowing, and the intention. This is Mystic Marc's favorite meditation, and I go back to this all the time. I start every meditation with this, and I invite you to do this multiple times a day. But it has different purposes too. What you just saw was us just connecting and opening up space for our true selves to come in here and commune with us. I am going to segue directly into a second heart coherence meditation. The intention and the purpose of this round is we are going to welcome in our real self. So we're going to breathe this in. We are going to intention to breathe in the knowing that this is my true self, and the trust that we can trust this. You know the peace that has already come in this space right here. It's because this is the comfortable, natural place for your true self. Deep breath. Breathing it in. Giving our true self space. Hold it. Give it our true self space. Release the doubts. Sometimes in this space, I can't help but hurry up and grab that second breath because I love being with my true self. It is okay to love being with your true self. Deep breath. This is where your mind, your will, and your emotions lie. You thought it, intentioned it with your will. You thought it with your mind, you intentioned it with your will. And here we are with the emotion, the peace that comes with it. Deep breath. Let's let that peace grow. The energy that you feel in your heart, imagine it growing with every breath. We're going to continue that same breath, right? And with every one, that energy in your heart, let it expand as it's feeling with your true self. And let that get so big. Another. Keep breathing until this energy. The key to this type of meditation is when you think it, I am love. Breathe it in. Give it space. Feel it. Let it grow. Let it be real. Release. With every affirmation and everything that I go forward, we're going to do that. We're going to say it. I am not my past. Deep breath. Let the doubts, let the breath encompass the doubts. Any thought that comes up, any feeling that comes up that is coming against that. Well, but you just this morning, just before the whatever it is, last year, or but this and this horrible thing, and that person still. It doesn't matter. You are not your past. Let it your breath encompass that, and release. Give it space. Give it time. Give your nervous system a chance to accept it. This is the new truth. Deep breath. I am spirit. Tell yourself this. I am spirit. Let it encompass. Let it grow. Let the feeling that you are spirit grow. Let it grow to a point to where it is big enough to encompass any doubts. And when you feel like that's what it did, just let it go. And this isn't an all at once type of thing. This isn't an all at once type of thing. You're not going to suddenly change the whole thoughts. 2 minutes from now, it may pop up again, and that is okay. This is a process, and we're going to trust it because we are not our past. We are love. We are not the voices that say that we can't. We are potential. These are I am statements. My bad. I am potential. I am light. I am the co-creator of my life. We are not visualizing. This is not manifesting. This isn't woo-woo. This is remembering and aligning who we truly are. We were made to be calm. We were made to have clarity. We were made full of potential. We were made royalty. We have power because we are co-creator of our lives. The only limitations that we have are the ones that we place on ourselves based upon the ego that's based upon the past. We are not that. We are not fear. We are not doubt. Remember, you're still breathing. We are not judgments. We are not trauma. We are not our mother or father's child. We are not the shame. We are not the pain. We are not the limitations. We are not the shortcomings. We are royalty. And if we saw ourselves as royalty in those situations, we wouldn't have acted the way that we did. That was the imposter. That was the imposter. The imposter has taken over and made you think that you are less than you are. You are royalty. You're co-creator of your life. You are love. You are spirit. You have the potential within you right now to impact the entire collective in the next 12 months. The only thing keeping you from that is the story that you tell yourself as to why it can't happen for you. Deep breath. You've spent however many years you are alive believing a lie. This isn't going to turn over every night. It is imperative that if it's going to take less than a decade for our lives to completely change and for us to make an impact in the collective in 2026, in the next 12 months, let's just say next 12 months, that gives you another January. In the next 12 months, you have the power today to start and to execute whatever it is that the universe has given you to impact the collective this next 12 months. The only thing keeping you from it is the story that you tell yourself, is, and which is the limitation as to why you can't have it. There's some Trumps out there that just got handed some money, but most people aren't like that. Most of the people that have things in their life, they have that. Most of the top 1%, Elon Musk has what he has because he went out and he had the balls to work every day towards this. And now I think he's the richest man in the world. But he didn't do it because he was a lucky son of a bitch who won the lottery of ideas. He stopped looking at his faults and he started looking at his strengths. And the bigger his strengths got, the less impact his faults made in his life. And then suddenly here he is. And we all have that $1 billion idea in our heads. We all have one. Maybe it's not money we're after. Maybe it's something else. And whatever it is for you, but I guarantee you, if you make an effort, an intention on bringing your medicine and allowing yourself to really shine, not the imposter, not the limitations the ego is set for it. You're a divine spirit who carries love, light, gratitude, has the power to be co-creator and be able to help somebody along the way. But you can't help somebody if you don't think that you can help somebody. A lot of times I don't pull over to help people on the side of the road, not because I don't care. It's that I don't have room in my car. I couldn't even give you a ride. I have nothing to offer you today. I'm sorry. And if we think that, we'll never stop. The proof is, however many years you've been alive has been proof that you'll continue to get exactly what it is that you think you want or that you deserve. And so what today is reversing that and letting you know that in the same way, I heard it said this way: the universe has been so faithful in giving you the shit that you wanted. Why wouldn't it be just as faithful to give you the good stuff? Because it's always going to give you what you want. And this, like I said, this isn't woo-woo. You're going to tell the universe what you want by taking the actions that person would take if they had what they want. It's a reason that the school community was created. I said I wanted to have a place that supported people in their timeline shifts. I'm not going to woo-woo it into being and then hope that the universe sends some random person without the vision to do it for me. I had to get up and go do it. And we're going to do this. If we're breathing, I am love. And we're going to let that sink in. And then when we leave this meditation, we're going to, how can I show someone love here right now? That's how you believe in the new way. Okay, I'm going to put action to this right now. And the way that we're going to do this here, again, I'm not here to teach you how or what. I'm here to teach you to connect to yourself. And you keep, so this meditation right here is going to be recorded. It's going to be posted. Keep doing the meditation. I know it seems like I don't really close out these meditations, but I'll tell you, I'm doing it strategically. I have not put you into necessarily a meditation. I have connected you to your true self. I'm not going to disconnect you from your true self. When this meeting's about to be over, I'm probably just abruptly going to stop it. And I'm telling you, I'm doing this strategically because you have just now been activated and connected to your true self. As soon as you get off this call, I want you to take one action that person would take towards one of your Fab Five. Get started on that today, or by at least making the plan for which item we're going to start on today. Right? This is the person that makes our decisions from now on. This is the person that plans our day. This is the person that shows up. This is the person that keeps their eyes on their Fab Five, because this person is going to execute this year. It may not be all that Fab Five. The first year I did this, I didn't hardly complete any of it. I've kind of guided y'all to help y'all not make that same mistake. But that Fab Five, that is what you said you wanted. We're going to show up for the collective by showing up for ourselves. I know that sounds counterintuitive. Again, I'm not going to tell you the bathroom's over to the left when it's to the right. It all starts with you, knowing who you are. Because you, the real you, can impact the collective. The ego you is limited. The ego you is limited because it's the body. That is not you. It's what you are to be aware of. This is the body that you are responsible for. This is what makes you royalty. Because you're a co-creator with the universe. We are going to do this meditation every night going to sleep. All right, you may fall asleep, it doesn't matter. You're going to intention to fall asleep every night doing this meditation. Because what I found to be true is this. You'll catch as much of the meditation as you can handle and that you need right now. And then your subconscious takes over for the rest while you're sleeping. You will find yourself waking up earlier and earlier. And when you do that, that's your subconscious telling you that it's ready for another round. And so go ahead and press play on that meditation. You might fall asleep until your alarm goes off, and that's fine too. You're always right where you need to be, when you need to be, how you need to be. You'll start finding that you'll get so activated during this meditation. You just get up and you start a walking meditation, and you start asking yourself, okay, what would that person do right now? And then all of a sudden the ball's going to start rolling, and you're going to really start seeing yourself for exactly who you are, which is a spirit that is co-creator of your life that can make an impact on this collective. And as I forewarned you, I am going to end the meeting, and we're going to get up right now, and we are going to go do something for our future self. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1, go do something for your future self. Love you.